Hi guys, so this is the second part of the video for this lesson, adding, subtracting, and multiplying radicals. I didn't mention the actual rule, so that's what I'm going to do now. So that's what you have to put down for the rule. And I'm going to explain what it means. So if you have two radicals having the same indexes, and those two radicals are getting multiplied, you can multiply in sides. Okay, you can multiply a times b. Only in case there's n here and n here. If there's something else here, if there's m here and n here, it's not going to work. So the rule is only for the case when index here and index here are the same. So in this case, index stays, and then it's a times b. For example, if you had, 2 and 7 here, you can multiply. 2 times 7 is 21, and then 3 stays. If there was, 2 right here and 3 right here, there's nothing you can do. You cannot multiply 2 times 7. So this is just a little bit of explanation. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 11. My pencils do not work anymore. I have to sharpen them. So 6x to the 4th power times 5, 8x to the 5th power. Okay? So 5 is outside of the radical, right? So this 5 goes up front. We can multiply 6 and 8 together because it's the same indexes, right? We don't see anything. It means that it's 2. 6 times 8 is 48. X to the 4th times x to the 5th is x to the 9th. Because once we multiply exponents, we add their powers. Now, we're going to factor 48 by 16 and 3. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take a square root of x to the 9th power. So we are going to factor x to the 9th power like this. X to the 8th times x. So we didn't really change anything. It's still x to the 9th, and this is still 48. And now we can take the square root of 16, and we can take a square root of x to the 4th power. So square root of 16 is 4. Square root of x to the 8th power is this. So we're going to keep the 8 on top here, and the index is going to go on the bottom of the fraction of the power. So it's 3x, what's left, because we didn't do anything with this 3 and we didn't do anything with the x. There's nothing that we can do with that. So all we have to do, we just have to simplify. 5 times 4 is 20. X to the 4th power, because 8 over 2 is 4, and then square root of 3x. And this is the final answer for this question. All right, number 13. Let's do it right here. Number 13. Cube root of negative 3, a to the 7th, b to the 4th, times cube root of 36, a to the 6th, b to the 2nd. Okay, we see that we have the same indexes, 3 here and 3 right there. So therefore, we can just multiply everything what's inside those radicals. Like we can multiply the radicands. Negative 3 times 36 is negative 216. We're going to keep the radical, and we're going to keep the index. A to the 7th times a to the 6th is a to the 13th, and then it's b to the 6th power. Now, we can take a cube root of negative 216. It's negative 6. All right, now what we have to do with this and this, I'm going to tell you. Okay, first of all, okay, so can we divide 13 by 3? Is it possible to divide 13 by 3? No, you can't. So you have to find a multiple of 3. And that's where it has to be in the power right here. So we're going to factor a to the 13th power as a to the 12th times a. And then we're going to check if b to the 6th power can, like if we can take a cube root of this b to the 6th power. Yes, we can, because 6 is multiple of this 3 right here. So we're just going to leave this alone. Okay, in the next step, we're going to take actually the cube root of a to the 12th power, and that's how we're going to do it. The 12 goes on top and 3 goes on the top, on the bottom. So 12 goes on top and this 3 goes on the bottom. And then there's nothing we can do with the a, and then b, same thing, 6 on the top, 3 on the bottom. And this a right here is going to stay under the cube root. So all we have to do, we just have to simplify. It's negative 6a to the 4th power, b to the 2nd power, cube root of a. And this is your answer for number 13. Number 15. So we're doing binomials now. These are the binomial examples. So what we see that something gets multiplied by the difference inside of the parentheses. So all we have to do, like imagine if it was, I don't know, x here and then x here and 2 here. What would you do? You would multiply this by this by this, and that's what we're going to do. Square root of 10 times 5 square root of 5 plus, positive times negative is going to be negative. So it's negative square root of 10 times 2 square root of 2. So again, we multiply this negative 10 by first and the second. So since we have the same indexes, it's 2 here, it's square root here, square root here, square root here, square root here. We can multiply them. We can multiply numbers inside there. So 5 goes up front, it's this 5 right here, and then square root of 10 times 5 is 50, minus 2 goes up front, square root of 20. Now we are going to factor this 50. One of them has to be a perfect square, which is 25, and then 2 is left, and then minus 2, 20 is actually 4 times 5. We can take a square root of 25, which is 5, and then 2 is left alone inside of the radical. Minus 2 times square root of 4 is 2, square root of 5. 5 times 5 is 25, square root of 2, minus 2 times 2 is 4, square root of 5. Okay, and this is your final answer. There's nothing you can do because there's 2 under here and 5 under here. So yes, I do understand it looks odd, but that's the answer. Okay, so number 17, and then I'm going to go over number 19 as well, and then that's how we're going to be done. So again, you're responsible for the whole worksheet, and then you have to show me the work. You have to put your name on top of the worksheet, so I know that it's yours, that it's not nobody else's, because I've seen this. So you have to put your name, and then you have to show everything. You have to write down everything I write down on the video, and then when you solve your own problems from the other side, the even ones, you show me the work as well. So here we have 2 parentheses, and there is a difference here. There is a sum here. You're going to use the FOIL, or not FOIL. However, FOIL is first out. Okay, whatever it is, FOIL. What I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply the first by the first and by the second, and the second by the first and by the second. That's the way I do it. So I'm going to multiply the first by the first, so this times this. Then I'm going to multiply first by the second, so this is positive, and this is positive, so the product is positive. So it's 6 square root of 6 times square root of 2. I'm going to multiply that, and then I'm going to take the second one, which is negative 6 square root of 2. I'm going to multiply by the first, and then I'm going to multiply negative 6 square root of 2 by the second. I'm sorry, I have the previous problem right there. So let me just cross it out so that you understand that it's not part of it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to simplify. So it's 6. Since they are the same, these are the square roots, we can multiply what's inside of them. So it's square root of 36 plus 6 square root of 12 minus 6 square root of 12 minus 6 square root of 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4. Now I'm going to simplify. Square root of 36 is 6. This 6 times this 6 is 36 plus, well, I'll see if it's going to be plus or minus. It's really going to be minus. Well, we see the same things. 6 square root of 12 minus 6 square root of 12. So they destroy each other. They cancel out. Minus 6 square root of 4. So 6 times square root of 4 is actually 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. So 36 minus 12 is 24. And this is your final answer for the 17, unless I made a mistake somewhere. I don't have any key in front of me. So we're going to do number 19. Square root of 3k times square root of k, 12k minus 2 square root of 15k squared. So again, we have to multiply this in front of the parentheses times the first and the second term. So square root of 3k times square root of 12k minus, because positive times negative is going to give me negative, minus square root of 3k times 2 square root of 15k squared. So we can multiply those. 3 times 12 is 36. K times k is k squared. Minus the 2 is outside of the radical, so 2 goes up front. Square root of 3 times 15 is 45. And then k times k squared is k to the third power. Square root of 36 is 6. Square root of k squared is k. And then here, what we're going to do, we're going to subtract 2. And then, what can we do here? We can factor 45 as 9 times 5. And then factor k to the third power as k squared times k. 6k is going to be left alone, minus 2. And then square root of 9 is 3. Square root of k squared is k. And 5k is going to be left inside of the radical. So we are going to simplify. So 2 times 3 is 6k, square root of 5k. And then you would tell me, oh, okay, there's a 6k here and 6k here, 6k here, let's subtract. It's not what we can subtract. The same way how we cannot subtract 6x from 6, right? So this is the same story. This 6k, this square root of 5k is glued to 6k. So we can't just subtract them. So this is your final answer, even though it looks really nice. It feels like we can subtract it. No, we can't. So again, you're supposed to complete the worksheet front and back of the classwork. I solved all the odd numbers for you. You are responsible for the odd numbers. You have to write them down on your worksheets, like all the work that I mentioned in this video. And then you have to do the even ones. I need your name on top of the page. If I do not see your name, doesn't look good to me. If you caught if you don't have even, like if you cut out the page, like if your page looks like this without the name, it's a red flag for me. So please don't have any red flags. Please let's solve everything, get your 100, and we're going to move on as we always do. All right. I'm just going to say a couple of words about this 21. Find the area and perimeter. So they give you a rectangle. To find the area, you have to multiply those two, right? Those two. And then to find the perimeter, you have to add those two together, and then again, add them again. So it's this plus the same thing, this plus the same thing, and then it's added together. So that's easy, but it's just an application of this topic. Okay, I'm a little bit getting tired and overwhelmed. So good luck to you. If you have any questions, please contact me. Have a good day. Bye.